Wow, Mr. K. What's going on, guys? This is my fifth video I'm recording today. Big day in crypto today. So, hey, whether it's a Monday, a Saturday, or a Sunday, the rest day, we strive to bring you guys information. So I decided I will be doing another one of my TAFA streams. I'm trying to think of a cool name. Tafa? Fata? Fatah? I don't know. Either way, today we're going to look at the, obviously we're going to talk about the big news this morning, the strategic reserve. My God, is crypto Twitter just stepping over themselves to give their analysis here? I was just scrolling and every other post is, wow, it should be Bitcoin only. This stuff is garbage. No one uses Cardano. XRP is centralized. Nothing stopping 10 million kids in basements or China from creating their own version of XRP. ADA or so, Mark, I like you, but that's not a correct statement. It's just, you got Brian Armstrong coming out saying, hey, I believe the best option would be a Bitcoin only reserve. I just don't like, I guess I kind of understand it, but I don't really understand it, why everyone's so up in arms about why, ADA and XRP and Solana were included. I just don't get it. I really don't. But it is what it is. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. Doesn't mean they're right. Doesn't mean they're wrong. It's just their opinion and their perspective on things. I think it's great. I think certain blockchains do certain things very well. And if you're in it just because Bitcoin is digital gold and everything else is a scam, okay, fine, then sure. But if you believe that blockchain technology can really change the financial infrastructure and landscape for not just people, but for everyone, for everything, right? Making everything more efficient, more transparent, then I don't get it. I really don't. But it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, feel free, you guys just, everyone is trying to tag Trump and say, I don't know who you've been talking to. I think Jack Mallers, where's Jack Mallers here? I think he, never mind. I thought he posted some, maybe that was from before. I thought he posted something today about what Trump said. Either way, we're going to analyze a little bit what that means, why it's a potential saving grace for Solana. Got some numbers from Pump.fun I want to share with you. Also, Bitcoin Exchange Reserve. We're going to talk about the massive sell wall that looks like it was about to accumulate. Is that going to continue to accumulate as Bitcoin heads back to $100,000? And we'll kind of speculate a little bit. In the original post, it did say other cryptocurrencies. And it's a lot of people are either bummed out that their favorite project wasn't included, like Hedera or Algorand or Stellar Lumens or Avalanche, Chainlink. And so, are any of those going to be included? We still have the summit coming up. And David Sachs says there's more to be announced at the summit. And my question was, if this wasn't the biggest piece of news, then what else are they going to say? Is it going to be no capital gains tax? Is it going to be we're putting a government agency on blockchain XYZ? What is it going to be? And what are prices doing currently with the price or with the news kind of settling, the Asian market's waking up. So with that being said, just going to take a quick peek at the chat. Also, all I ask of you guys is like the video. Also, stay active in the chat. Anything you want to me to look at, get my thoughts on, have a question, feel free to throw it in there, and I will definitely make sure to hop back and forth here. I usually am pretty prepared. Today I got home, I was super tired. I think I was on the couch and I closed my eyes for like 30 minutes. I woke up and I was like, you know what? I got to go live because I know there's a lot of people hunting for information. And so I don't have a lot planned. I plan to kind of wing this thing, look at some charts, talk to you guys, keep it real friendly. And maybe this will be a 30-minute stream. Maybe this will be an hour and 30-minute stream. Who knows? That'll be completely up to you guys. JD Vance holds a lot of AVAX. I sold a kidney. I sold 2. Now I need 1. If anyone has got an extra kidney they want to lend me, let me know. Remy said, where's your partner? He is not here. Today is this show is David solo. And so we do our together stream in the morning where we cover news, and then the PM stream is more TA and fundamental analysis. So let's take a peek at what happened to the market since this morning's big pump. Bitcoin holding over that 92.5 level. Now, this level that we talked about, 92,500 in the pink up here, this was a very, very important level, okay? And the one thing I did note as well, I believe it was to our Patreon Discord, was this potential head and shoulders pattern that was playing out on BTC, right? You had this beautiful shoulder formation coming up into this resistance at 86.5. Then you had your head, right? And then we were forming a shoulder. And so typically, and if you guys have been watching my channel, that kind of looks like never mind. If you watch my PM stream, you know, my thesis was in the current downtrend that we've been in, to short the resistance levels. And the key levels we had was 86.5. That was a big level, right? We had a few other ones, 85.2, 82,000 flat was a good level up until we lost it. But you can see here, we retested that on a couple of wicks. Well, one didn't quite get there. It got to around 82.6. We needed to hit that 82 flat level. And so I was originally going to short this. And I guess if you did short this at 86.5, could have taken profits at 84.9. Wouldn't have been much. I mean, if you want to make any substantial amount of money without risking a lot, you would have had to have, you know, done like a 50x leverage like that guy on Hyperliquid. I wonder who that was. Definitely someone in Trump's circle who knew what was going to happen, or David Sachs' circle. And so I didn't end up putting that short trade in, which obviously, thank God, because my TP would not have been at 85,000. My TP would have been closer to 83.7 or 84.5, right? 84.7 was a prior. The last trade we closed for a profit. This one would have been in that same range. And as you can see here, 1, 2, 3 consecutive massive green candles. This one was 2 points, and I'm on the hourly time frame, by the way, 2.75%. This one was 4.5, and this one was 3. All liquidation candles to the upside. Shorts got squeezed, right? I don't know if you've seen that. I forget what a mafia movie was where they were strangling the guy and his eyeballs just squeezed and popped out of the eye socket. That's kind of what it felt like. We are seeing a little bit of a cool off in BTC, guys. I would not be surprised now that the big news hit. Now, of course, talk about this all the time. We look at charts, patterns, bull flag, bear flag, head and shoulders, yada, yada. If the news came out today that, hey, now I know this inverse head and shoulders is eventually, you know, essentially played out. We broke to the upside, which is typically what happens from a probability standpoint. But if the tweet today instead was, we're holding off on the strategic reserve, we're not looking to have that on the docket. It's, you know, it's not important for this year. We got so many other things to worry about. We got to get the Ukraine war. Then this would have completely spilled off, and we probably would have seen a sub 80K Bitcoin again. This wasn't anything new. Everyone knew it was going to happen. But people were wondering, well, the time frame, how serious is he? You know, the executive order within the first week came out. And so when that was announced, and I think the biggest thing too was the names, the specific names. So we had the Bitcoin, we had Ethereum, which was funny to watch people freak out when the initial post didn't say Bitcoin or ETH, but like we all knew, at least I knew, that Bitcoin and ETH it was either people knew that it was already going to be included because that's what he talked about, or that he maybe forgot. And he's got Barron Trump in his ear telling him, Dad, you forgot the 2 biggest ones. So it could have been completely different. So that's what we talk about, right? We talk about crypto and every market is very receptive and kind of overreacts to news, whether it's to the downside or to the upside, especially crypto, especially on the weekends. And so it was interesting. We got that tweet on a Sunday. I imagine if this thing happened on a Monday or a Tuesday or any day of the week where the stock market's open, we probably would have seen massive amounts of inflows for the ETF to start. I'm assuming tomorrow we're going to see something big in the ETF. Could we, we saw, I think 150 million flowing into the ETF on Friday, which broke a 5-day outflow trend. And so I expect that to continue. And so it's looking more and more like that reserve is going to happen this year. And so, again, broke out of this pattern. Now, how am I looking to trade this? Now, the first thing I want to do which you've already gotten one. The retest of 92.5, that held up. Great, right? After the retest, again, this is on the shorter time frame. After the retest, we rallied another 2.5%. That's great. Low volume, fine. Large volume, obviously, on the massive gains. That's great, too. We go on the 4-hour. 4-hour, we didn't quite. So on the 1 hour, we wicked down here, but we closed above. We closed at like 92,750. And so I wouldn't be surprised from now until that crypto consortium meeting, whatever you want to call it, happens. There you go. There's your wick down there. And this would potentially be a reversal pattern, a reversal candle here. You want to call it a doji. You want to call it a shooting star, you know, at the top of an uptrend. That's what it is. So, but 92.5, don't be surprised if we come back and we spend a little bit of time here, build some support on top of this key area that we had as support going all the way back to November of last year. As you can see how many times price came back to this $92,500 level and how many times we got a V-shaped recovery. And, you know, I pretty much show this, and it's important to reference historical price action at key levels. And this, obviously, if you just take a look here, you don't got to be a chart specialist to understand that this level, the bottom line here, the bottom of your rectangle, was a very key level. And you look at how price reacted, this was a value area for a lot of investors. And so could we be coming into, on a larger time frame, this is the 6-hour, into a potential cup and handle pattern, right? It's also a very bullish pattern. Cup, handle, how far does it go? Don't want it to exceed 50%. And then a breakout to the upside. And that breakout will take us to over $100,000. And so I've said before, 100K, I believe once we hit that, we're going to get a FOMO rally up to about 135 to 150. But again, don't be surprised. News kind of slows down. People accept it. You get the Twitter wars, the X wars. Everyone's giving their 2 cents and why this shouldn't be included and that should be, and this is centralized and this one does nothing. And we're going to get that. And I think in the meanwhile, we might see a little chop from BTC. But again, can Trump come out tomorrow or Wednesday or Friday and say, after consideration, we've also decided to add HBAR and stellar lumens, and Bitcoin's weight in the strategic reserve will be 60%. Then none of that's going to matter. Whether we're in consolidation, whether we're in a downtrend, whether we're in a potential positive pattern or a negative pattern to the downside, it won't matter because the news will move the markets. And I'll tell you one thing. I was getting a little worried that the headlines that would typically move prices in a bull market were not really having that effect. You had the SEC dropping cases, prices trended down. You had a bunch of other news headlines, and so price didn't react. So I was very, very happy to see Bitcoin's price react and the altcoins as well. Well, the altcoins I understood, right? Because you specifically named 4 altcoins, ETH, Solana, XRP, Cardano. Everyone knew a Bitcoin strategic reserve was coming. It was the rest that was a little uncertain for people. And so to see Bitcoin rally off that is amazing. It's great. And again, 92.5 would be a key level. Now, for the time being, I am no longer, right? You always adjust based on the market sentiment and market structure, price structure. I am more keen on potentially flipping my trading strategy from shorting resistance to potentially longing support levels here, which the first one would be 92.5. And so I will more than likely, and I'll let our Patreon members know first, whether I am going to put in a limit order long position on 92.5. I believe that is going to hold. I believe we're starting to see strength in the market. Just by taking out this 92.5 level, the structure has completely changed. And I'm actually curious if we got a BOS and you see this massive gap. Take a look at this massive gap we created on the way up. People talk about CME gaps. This gap is from 86.6 to 93.4. Okay, and take a look historically. These gaps tend to fill. Now, obviously, you got gaps. I don't know. You got gaps down here. Probably never going to fill those. Bitcoin's probably never going back down to 55K again. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong because I'll buy more. But this gap, at least partially, and you can see where price is now, the upper end of this gap is 93.3. Could we get a fill to maybe the midline here at 90K? Maybe. I still believe 92.5 is going to be a key level for BTC. And I'm looking for a signal of break of structure, which we haven't gotten yet. But you see our previous week high was around 96.5. So it's funny. We went through an entire week, which felt like 3 months of freaking prices bleeding, massive large red candles, okay? This is the chart on the Heikinashi. And you know what? If you're a Heikinashi trader, this would be a buy signal here, right? You see a reversal. You see 2 large green candles with 0 wicks to the downside. That's the importance here. 0 wicks to the downside, and you enter into a long. If you were to follow that, I'm not saying this is a strategy I use, but I like to read up on things, and I know a lot of different strategies people like to use, and this is one. And if you follow that strategy here, this would have been an entry here at 92.4, and you ride that down to, I don't know, 78K if you time the bottom perfectly. More than likely, you probably hit that 83K level, so that would have been a really nice trade setup. So this is telling us to go long on BTC, and you look just historically, reversal, 2 large bodied green candles, no wicks to the downside. And what does Bitcoin's price do? It rallies 13%. Reversal, 2 large red bodied candles with no wicks to the upside. And Bitcoin's price goes from 101.6 down to I guess you can call it a swing low of 91.412. And so the chart's looking really good for BTC. Again, will this fill? I don't know. Can we take a wick down to that lower 90, maybe 89.5K level potentially? I'll tell you what, though. If we do get a dip down there, I am buying BTC. I'm going long. And then the rest of the market. So we opened up today with ADA being the #1 gainer in the 24-hour, which it still is, 66.15% to the upside over the last 24 hours, bringing it 7-day to 41%. Number 2 is XRP. And the Trump token surged as well. And this was a project, if you remember watching our show on Friday, that Forrest said he believes is ready to run. That man is very talented. And so I don't know if you guys listened to him, got in this trade, but if you did, great job. Those of you that bought Cardano at 60 cents, where was Cardano? I mean, you want to talk about a God candle? I'll just remove every indicator. Look at that. I think this might be Cardano's largest daily candle ever. What is that? 70%? That's 20%. I mean, I'm not going to spend the whole show looking for it, but here's 23%. Here's 22%. Here's 13. This was a 72% daily candle. And let's go back to 2021 because I'm curious. I did not 13%. All right, so here we go. First high, May of 2021. Tell me if you guys spot any. I don't see any 72% candles. That's a 33% candle. That's a 20% candle. That's a 23. I mean, even here, you had 16%. Yeah, this was Cardano's biggest daily candle ever. And so I think it's the same for XRP, actually. If we go out to XRP, this 33% candle, even during the massive run from 50 cents, we saw 17%, we saw 8%. You had a big one here, which was 17%, but a 33% candle. And that's off of one tweet. In one tweet, we saw Cardano take out two key levels, okay? 81 cents and 98 cents. Took them out one candle. XRP took out the big one, which is around $2.73. Okay, and I think I had a box drawn, yeah. This level here, $2.78 was the upper end of that level. And we took that out in one candle. Solana didn't have as big a rally as the rest did. I think that goes back to a lot of Solana's Solana's, I don't even know what the right analogy or word is, but their bread and butter has been meme coins. And take a look at this. Take a look at this. This is from Dune.com, Dune Analytics, and this is Solana Pump.Fund stats. Okay. Also, shout out to NFTXLV. I know they partnered with Rare Evo. They're one now, but anyways. So this is graduated tokens. That's the amount total, right? So it all looks good. And then you go down here. You look at monthly profitability on Pump.Fund tokens. 53% loss between $500 and $1,000. Average current market cap of tokens launched from a peak of 423,000 to a low of 23,000. Daily revenue from Pump.Fund from a peak on the 12th of February of $7.5 million in daily revenue, and I won't even count the zero, to $922,000. What is that? A decrease of what, 85, 90%? Launch tokens was trending down. That is trending up. Graduated tokens, so tokens that bond, 812 back on the 10th of February to 142 just yesterday. Daily volume is down. Graduation time is down. Graduation rate again is down. The wallet count is down. Everything is down. And so, like I said, the new meme coin meta, I think, is dead for now. I think if anyone's investing in meme coins, it's the OGs, the one that's been around, the one that's got longevity, that's one that people know aren't going to rug. And so you can see here the stats. I mean, everything is down. And so when you look at a layer one who's 75 to 90% of their daily transactions come from meme coins and Pump.Fund, you expect something like this, right? From the 19th of January, where Solana topped out at $300, it's lost in value 58%. Those are bear market numbers, my friends. Those are bear market numbers. You see 30, 35%, but 60% is pretty damn big. So I think the biggest beneficiary to the news this morning was Solana, because majority of people at surface level look at a chart like this, look at stats like this, look at the numbers, 75 to 90% being meme coin trades, and say Solana's dead. Solana's dead. Like, what else does it do? Now, if you go under surface level, it does other stuff like payments, RWA. But the narrative, I think, Solana needed a narrative shift. And I think what we saw this morning from that tweet and that post on Truth Social, I think is the biggest beneficiary to Solana, although it was the smallest gainer out of the 5 tokens that were mentioned. ADA being number 1, XRP being number 2. I don't even know, was Solana number 3? Because ETH definitely did not outperform Solana. Solana had a 25% day. ETH had a 13% day. So it came in number 3 out of the alts. So I don't know. I think the news benefited Solana the most from a narrative shift standpoint, but Solana still has a ways to go to really break structure of the chart. The important one here, which it got stopped out at, was a 177. Okay, and I'll just drop a horizontal line so we can see at 177. It's right here. Okay. So you see how prices reacted. This has been a key level of resistance multiple times. And this was where we broke out of this inverse head and shoulders pattern, essentially, this key level. And then Solana rallied from 160 to around $262 on the way down. We essentially got a double bottom before it completely fell through. And then once it did fall through, it attempted to reclaim this level and completely fell down to this 125 level. So that's the first level. And it looks like Solana failed to retake that first level. The second level that I'm looking at for Solana is here at 202. And again, how did price react at these ranges? Resistance, resistance. Came back here. This was also an area of consolidation for Solana, not nearly as significant as the 177 level. So maybe Solana comes in, gets into a bull flag pattern, trends down towards maybe, I don't know, 165 to 160 to $165, and then rallies and pushes to the upside. But from a narrative and health standpoint, this was much needed for Solana. I can see past the meme coin stuff. You know, it's not Anatoly's fault. It's not the co-founder's fault. It's not the chain's fault that it became the meme coin chain. Now, sure, they incentivized dApps to do that, but either way, you can't put the blame on the network for turning into what it did. And so I don't know. We'll see with Solana. Solana is not one I'm putting into the long to support category here yet, because obviously it's gotten the rejection at resistance. So I'm more keen to see how price reacts. Where is it going to settle? And I do think we're going to get a little bit of consolidation before we see a big move out of Solana versus something like XRP or ADA. I think this thing can continue to rally. I really do. And then speaking of ADA, before I forget, there was this exchange on X, Stake with Pride. They posted this talking about how Circle essentially said that bringing USDC on Cardano, there was a lack of a strategic fit, to which Charles said, I've got something else I'm working on for that one. Someone said RLUSD. Stake with Pride said bigger, I think. And Charles said the biggest. Now, what's the biggest stable coin? It's Tether, USDT. So is Charles hinting at USDT coming to Cardano? That would be massive. I've always said, you know, I love Cardano, but no project is perfect. And I've always said it needs a stable coin. That is the lifeblood of DeFi, right? Lifeblood of really anything in crypto is a stable coin. You need on and off. You need something where people can on and off board money into without, you know, converting it back to fiat, keeping it in your ecosystem. And I know it's got other ones like USDM and JET and one other one, but you need a big boy in there, man. You need a big boy. And so I hope this means that Tether is coming to ADA. That would be a massive boost to Cardano TVL. That would be a massive boost to Cardano ecosystem. So I'm excited to see how that plays out. With that being said, I'm going to take a peek at the chat here. We got 256 people watching, 66 likes. Do us a favor, guys. Hit the like button. Also, if you're not familiar, first time here, make sure you subscribe to the channel. My name is David. I'm just going to take a peek at the chat here. I like to keep this thing a little more community driven. We did have a super chat from Istophobic. Are you expecting a dip from Europe or New York tomorrow? I don't want to be a paper-handed BA and cheat unnecessarily. Let me take a sip of this. Let me gather my energy to answer your question. If you are considering selling your crypto after the president of the United States came out and confirmed that we're going to get a strategic reserve and specified the coins, I don't know, like, I'm trying to be nice here, but that would be really retarded. Very, very retarded. You would have been better off selling into the fear than selling on a pump after the president comes out and says they're going to do the strategic reserve and specifically list 5 coins. So I mean, if you've been here and you're like, the only way I would say, if I was in your shoes, my friend, the only way I'd be selling now is if I needed the money for something. An emergency came up. My dog broke his leg. I need $10K for surgery. I don't have the liquid cash. Okay, fine. Why the hell did my camera zoom in? What is going on here? Give me a second, guys. Let me fix this damn camera. What the fuck is going on? You know, sometimes technology is too smart. I think this thing has I think my camera's bugging out over here. Yes, AI tracking off. I don't want your AI tracking. Okay, should be good now. I guess I decided to zoom in. Whatever. So I don't see a scenario where it's a smart idea to sell after you got that kind of news. Now, if you had your profit-taking plan, your DCA out plan in place, and the number for Cardano was take 10% off the table at $1.09, sure, follow your strategy. But I'm also a believer as new information comes out that can impact your thesis, your projections, you should reevaluate. You shouldn't reevaluate when you're euphoric. So if today you woke up and your base case for Cardano was, let's say, $2.50 and you bought at 30 cents, and you're sitting there and you have your calculations out and you're like, all right, I'm taking out 10% at this level. I'm laddering out another 20% here. $1.50, I'm taking out 50%, yada, yada, yada. Cool. You got the news this morning. You're ultra bullish. Your feelings are euphoric. Take a day. Tomorrow morning, wake up. You feel fine. You're not overly bullish. You're not overly bearish. Sit down and look at the numbers you have on paper and then try to extrapolate the potential of what this news could mean with the government actively buying Cardano. Cardano doesn't have a 3 million token worth, what's 3 million Bitcoin right now? How much money is that? That's billions of dollars. You know what? I'm actually curious. And again, I used to be really good at math, but 3 million times $93,500. $280 billion of Bitcoin is sitting on OTC exchanges. So we could have $280 billion of buy pressure before anyone even has to consider dipping into the order books. I don't know. I was trying to actually find some information on Cardano OTC desks. I couldn't find any. I don't know if anyone in the chat has a resource. If you do, please, I would love to know what that resource is. But there ain't no $280 billion worth of Cardano sitting on OTC exchanges. There's probably not even $1 billion of Cardano sitting on OTC exchanges. And so when you talk about, okay, now they got to go out and buy these 5 tokens, these 5 coins, Bitcoin, deep liquidity on OTC, ETH, deep liquidity on OTC. Do I actually have? No, that's exchanges. Okay. So those two do. XRP, you got the Ripple Foundation. They hold a shitload of Bitcoin or XRP, a crap load. So the only two that are left are Solana and Cardano. So with those ones, sure, Solana Foundation has some, but is it enough to give the United States government, the largest economy in the world, enough to fulfill their required allocation to said assets? And so I just don't know. Unless you don't believe they're going to go through with it, which everything I've seen from Trump, love him or hate him, what he said he's going to do, what he said he campaigned on, he has done. Whether you like it or not, he campaigned on it, he's doing it. He campaigned on no taxes on tips, no taxes on overtime, and that has passed the House, going up for Senate. He campaigned on the whole immigration thing. I'm not going to get into that. He's done that. He also campaigned on a Bitcoin and a crypto strategic reserve. And the steps so far, what we've seen from the actual doing it versus saying it, the action of it, he's been right on par with what he said he's going to do. So unless you don't believe that he's actually going to go through with it, I'm just going to say it would be absolutely dumb for anyone to sit here as sitting on an XRP, Cardano, or Solana bag to sit there and capitulate now and sell. I'm sorry. It's just dumb. So hope I didn't offend anyone. And I wasn't directly saying it to you, Istophobic. I appreciate the $5 super chat and I appreciate your question, but I'm sure there's a lot of people that have the same question. And then TP Hand, no tax on crypto gains. I would argue that, to me personally, okay, we want to talk about catalysts that can actually move the market. There's always going to be narratives that move the market, but catalysts and actual tangible things are what really send the prices. You want to talk about Valhalla, new all-time highs, blue sky breakout, that is what you need. And I am telling you, if cryptocurrency or certain sectors of cryptocurrency, whether it's a strategic Bitcoin reserve and what the coins are in there, whether if it's this list right here, your made in the USA cryptos, which include the ones that are obviously listed for the strategic reserve. If this man comes out at that hearing or at that get together and says, we are eliminating capital gains tax on all made in USA cryptocurrencies, bruh, you think 73% was a large candle? I'm not even trying to be funny. I'm not even trying to be a moon boy. But when you tell a class of investors, of hedge funds, of institutions, of sovereign wealth funds, hey, you can buy this asset that is volatile, You can allocate 1% to it. Even if it goes to zero and it has volatility the other way, you'll be fine. Your portfolio is going to be fine. You're not going to go belly up. You'll be great. But when you do make that 40, 50, 60%, you don't have to pay a single dime of capital gains tax. That will be an absolutely astronomical catalyst for whatever coins. It could be some shit coin. It could be anything. It is going to be, I'm telling you, like from a personal standpoint, if I'm sitting there and I have Cardano and I have Tron, or I have Cardano and I have Phantom, or XRP and one non-US crypto, and I'm looking at pulling a trigger on $100,000, and it's an equal playing field of what I think. Well, I think they can both do good. This one's got this. I'm going with the one I don't have to give up 35 to 40% of my gains on. If both go up in the same rate, one I'm cashing out $1 million, I keep $600,000. The other one I'm cashing out $1 million and I keep $1 million. It's a no-brainer. So that is going to be a massive catalyst. And if that gets announced, crypto is sitting at a what's the total market cap of crypto right now? It is 3.12 trillion. If we get that announcement, it's going to like 3.5, maybe even 4. It's going to be such a massive catalyst. By that time, who knows? Could we have an XRP ETF, a Hedera ETF? We know they're in the pipeline. It's going to be just an absolutely massive catalyst. And that, I believe, is all around the corner. So, man, I'm uber bullish right now. I mean, how can you not be, right? Especially when in this space for so long and endured the shit that we've had to endure, the OGs. It's a really good day. It's hard to not be excited. All right. Camera hacked. Yeah, I know, right? It's Russia. Almost quit my job today. Why? Because your portfolio went up 70%. That's funny. No tax on crypto again. That's a big one. Need some female vibes in the house. My wife was in here earlier, but she's gone now. So she was here for a brief second. Do you mean like Jay Violet? Do you mean like putting some like, I don't know, flowers back there or something? I don't know. K Diggity said, I'm trading America coins, as will literally everyone else. And Dave got a mod Violet. We can tag team likes. I've seen Violet a few times. I want to see her a few more times, and then I will be more than happy to add her as a mod. I'm not stingy on adding people as mods, if you guys know. All right, let's take a look at where money has flowed, and let me remove myself from that side to this side. So this is on the 1 day. Net inflows, obviously, Solana, 190 million. Cardano, 105 million. And where is our buddy XRP? There you are. 130 million flowed into XRP. Now, where did the money flow out of? We saw big money flow out of Wrap Bitcoin. We saw money obviously flow out of USDT. And so people, it's partly fresh capital that's entering the markets. It's also partly capital that's been sitting on the sidelines. People made money, took profits. We're waiting for a narrative spark. We're waiting for a catalyst. They had their money sitting in USDT or USDC, and they decided to pull the trigger that this news this morning was enough for them to stop leaving their money on the sidelines and enter and be an active participants in the market. And so you had some outflows out of Pi. You had a little bit. You had 22 million of outflows from XRP, but 130 million of inflows. So a net of around $108 million. And then some of the other ones, Story Protocol had some outflows. And the rest are pretty minute. Algorand, just an example, like 2.1 million on Algorand. And so just some inflows, some outflows. And then we have this as well. Bitcoin exchange reserves at all-time lows. Right now, currently, according to Crypto Quant, there's only less than 2.5 million Bitcoin that is sitting on exchanges, okay? Again, all-time low. Layman's terms, what does that mean? That means there's less Bitcoin on exchanges for people to give when people look to buy. So exchanges, when they're getting ready, they got this reserve of Bitcoin. They see an influx of people that want to buy Bitcoin. They take from their reserves. Eventually, it gets to a point, if we do see that large inflow of people wanting to buy, right? The takers. If they come in and they just don't have enough, they're going to have to go out and find some. Hit up the miners, hit up whales, ask other exchanges, or dip into other liquidity books, right? Go to buy it off Binance. I don't know. And so this kind of is interesting. And then we also have this as well. The buy-sell quote volume difference in all exchanges. So buy walls and sell walls. And you can see here, as Bitcoin crossed that 29K level back in May of 2023, it was grinding up. And then we hit our peak sell wall. And that is where Bitcoin really went into that consolidation phase as that sell wall was starting to diminish. Once it did, Bitcoin rallied from $55,000 to $100,000. And it looks like we were kind of building up a sell wall. I do expect this thing to gain a little bit more as Bitcoin gets closer to 100K. People start putting in limit sell orders. Maybe it's the people that bought down here at $23,000. They're happy with a 4 or 5X. Cool. You'll start seeing, and as Bitcoin's price gets higher, you'll see more sell walls, and the sell walls start to expand because at some point, unless you're, I'm never selling Bitcoin, Michael Saylor, I'm holding it forever, 99% of people are buying Bitcoin to make money from it. So you'll start seeing these sell walls get bigger. And typically when you do, you enter into a consolidation phase if it's in a bull market, or if it's in a bear market, you just start to see price slowly dwindle down, and then something happens and it just gets a flush to the downside. The rest of the markets here, some of the biggest losers of the day, MakerDAO and Celestia, which were up yesterday, 2 days ago, are down. And just take a look at the rest of the top 100, top 10 on the crypto market cap list. XRP, again, knocking on the door of ETH, now less than a 2x away from flipping Ethereum. This is not fully diluted. I believe fully diluted, they officially flipped ETH. I could be wrong. But just with what's currently circulating as far as the supply, it is a little less than a 2x away from flipping ETH. I'm curious. In the chat, do you think ETH or do you think XRP will flip ETH? Put a 1 for yes, put a 2 for no. Also, one thing I noticed too was, and I just kind of caught my attention, SNEC has crushed it today. Up 67%, the largest meme coin on Cardano. This is my favorite meme coin. I love SNEC. I love the SNEC community. I've hung out with these guys. They're funny. They're just dope people, man. It is a absolutely amazing community. I hold SNEC because of the community, man. I really do. I love those guys. Shout out to the SNEC community. I don't know if you guys are part of it, but if you are, shout out to you. Doge had a decent rally today, around 12.2% over the last 24 hours. And then Hedera has been on fire, up 8.5%. Now, Hedera was not mentioned in the strategic reserve, but I believe Hedera somehow will either be integrated into some sort of government or institution level integration. We know they got their governing council with some of the biggest names. And you know what? Let's look at this. Hedera Governing Council. Now, I know I think I said this in a video earlier this year that Hedera's got 7 seats opening this year. But if you take a look, and I don't know if maybe you guys have never seen this. I don't know. But there's some massive names that are part of the Hedera Governing Council, including Aberdeen, Avery Johnson, right? You have Chainlink, you have Dell, LG, IBM, Google, Hitachi. You know, my dad's first, when he first came to the States, his very first TV he bought was a Hitachi. Rest his soul. Love you, Dad. And then Ubisoft, right? Massive gaming. Deutsche Telekom. So its governing council has just, I don't see Boeing anymore. Is Boeing done? If there's any H barbarians in here, did Boeing not, was their term up and they couldn't reapply, or did they get booted, or did they, what happened with Boeing? Because I don't see them up here. Boeing used to be up here. So also Mondelez, which I think is bananas. Could be wrong. So either way, so you have this project here, which also fits into the made in the USA, right? Hedera. Great tech, RWA narrative, stable coins, token transfer, HTS service is great. And this thing has just been rallying. And, we share, this was a double bottom here and at 18 cents, which we identified as a value area to scoop up Hedera. And if you did both times, you would have made money, whether it was on a swing trade, whether it was on a buy and hold, because you'd be sitting on 18 cents to a high of 28 cents. And so for me, Hedera is a no-brainer, man. If you like quality and you're big on partnerships and influence, Hedera should be at the top of your list. Super, super bullish on Hedera. Now, we could see some potential resistance right around 30 cents flat, closer to 30.9 cents. It looks like we are seeing a little bit of resistance now, as we saw price get all the way up to 28.7, and we're currently sitting at 26.41 cents. And so, man, Hedera, super, super bullish. Could they be announced as another coin that'll be in the strategic reserve come the, what is that called, by the way? The thing they're doing, is it a crypto conference, or I forget what the terminology they used is. I don't want to freaking make up words over here, but anyway, so Hedera, you got other ones, you look at, and I think I saw a pie chart somewhere, or it was like a Venn diagram of like World Liberty Fi tokens. Then you have Made in USA tokens, and you have Grayscale tokens, the ones that they already have a trust with. And so could they be one of them? Could Chainlink be another one? We know the Trump family holds a crap load of Chainlink, right? Working with Swift, working with the DTCC. Sergey Nazarov has been around Trump. I think he might have met with the advisors there. Stellar Lumens, you got Avalanche. I mean, Sui potentially. There's a lot of ones that could potentially, Litecoin maybe. I don't know. Probably not Polkadot. So there's a lot of, and Ondo's another big one. Big Trump family ties to BlackRock, RWA narrative. So there's a bunch. Now, moving forward, the speculation will be, I believe, around these coins. What's next to get an announcement? What's next to get, access to the strategic reserve? What is the Trump administration going to do? So also, we should tag that wallet on Hyperliquid, the one that went 50x long on Bitcoin and ETH. We should just copy trade that, because that's definitely a Trump insider. For you to 50x leverage $200 million, that's pretty ballsy, dude. That's pretty damn ballsy. You don't do that unless you have some insider info. And so that person made a lot of money. And so, yeah. All right, I'll go back to the chat here. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Are you guys having issues with the picture quality? I've got a big drop off in viewers. Let me know. Is there any issues with the audio or the video here, guys? Because I'm getting some notifications here on YouTube. I'm curious what you guys are seeing on your end, but I'm just trying to take a peek at the chat here. I feel like a delinquent constantly saying hit the likes. Yeah, I don't blame you, man. I don't blame you. Man, hit the likes, guys. Help us out here. Crypto Summit. Yes, thank you. Ashwin and LFG Mike. Thank you. Crypto Summit. I said hi to you. Yeah, Lockheed Martin replaced Boeing. Yeah, Boeing is done. Okay, Boeing is done. NVIDIA. That would be, okay, you want to talk about catalysts? NVIDIA joining the Hedera Governing Council. Hedera. Let's see what that looks like, okay? Let's say March 15th, we wake up. Let me go to the daily here. March 15th, we wake up and we get news that the Hedera Governing Council is onboarding NVIDIA as a Governing Council member. You're going to see like this, bro. You're going to see a shot to at least new cycle highs, okay? At least to new cycle highs, which is 40 cents. My bet is this thing gets up to 80 cents to $1. It more than doubles. You look at what happened. This was when the markets were flat. I think it was here. Yes, it was. Where it was people mistook information. There was news that came out that, what was the news that really took Hedera? Oh, BlackRock. A BlackRock fund was tokenized on Hedera, and I think people misinterpreted that information as BlackRock. BlackRock is the one that tokenized their fund on Hedera when it was the opposite. Aberdeen or Arcax literally just took a BlackRock fund, which anyone can do, and just put it on Hedera. That's what happened. I think when people realized it, you saw that large sell-off. But in one candle, it was a 72% candle for Hedera. Opened at 8 cents, got all the way up. Even the next candle, wick high to 18 cents. So pretty much a double. And then it spilled off. I think we see something similar. If NVIDIA is announced as a governing council member, yeah, I mean, you're seeing I think you're seeing $1 Hedera, like overnight, in a matter of hours. Massive, like every single short that has, even if their stop loss is 20% above local highs, they're going to get stopped out, and you're going to see people piling in. You want to talk about FOMO? That's going to be some FOMO right there. So that's more of a headline, not necessarily a tangible catalyst, but a narrative headline catalyst. So they can both be equally as impactful as an actual tangible catalyst. But you put the two together, you start getting some I don't know, some news coming out that they're working with NVIDIA or NVIDIA. I mean, it would be absolutely massive. So, I mean, yeah, that would be great. I got a fat bag of Hedera. That would be pretty nice to see that. So, all right, guys, I think I'm going to wrap it up. I'm done. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Upgrade to fiber. You know, Mohammed said your internet to zero. They don't have fiber here where I live. So I think if you want to get fiber, you got to get the HOA to sign off on it, and then sometimes they make you pay for it. But either way, guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. I really appreciate all of you. We'll be back to our regular schedule tomorrow, 11 a.m. Pacific for the morning stream, 4:45 p.m. Pacific for the night stream. Also, we put out a Cardano and an XRP video earlier today. Go check that out. And until tomorrow, guys,